For centuries, people relayed magnificent stories, some of which were taken as fact before researchers would disprove them. Hundreds of years ago, the world was a different place. If someone did something out of the ordinary, it wasn't uncommon for them to be labelled as magic. In fact, this even happened during Nikola Tesla's lifetime. To show how ahead he was, when he was demonstrating a remote-controlled boat at an exhibition at Madison Square Garden, everyone couldn't believe what they were seeing, and even branded Tesla as some sort of magician, demanding that the boat be torn open and prove that he hadn't shrunk people inside it. It must have been frustrating for Tesla to be trying to put forward his ideas in a time like this, where instead of being appreciated, people just wrote off your work as fantasy and magic. Other interesting stories that have been passed down is that of supposed time travelers. For years, various people have claimed to have been time travelers, and that they've been given a mission to carry out in order to help the past. Although scientists and researchers have said this isn't possible, and that anyone claiming to be a time traveler is a fraud, others believe these claims, and say that government documents prove that officials had been investigating time travel, and that they've been able to harness it. One interesting individual that came forward and claimed there was a time traveler was a woman named Clara. In early 2018, Clara claimed that she was working with the government and military on a special mission. This mission started in 2000, and involved her going back in time to the year 3780, where she had to bring back an important piece of technology that would be used by humans of the past. When she questioned what this tech would be used for, she claimed she was told not to ask questions. When questioned about her journey in time travel, she said the following: "Imagine time as a measurement such as height, length or depth. Let's say you're swimming in the sea at a depth of 2 meters. You can easily go deeper. This is the same thing that you can do with time if you have the appropriate equipment and knowledge." End quote. She claims that the military has the ability to travel back in time, and that they've been doing this for a while, saying that certain individuals are selected to go on these missions, and that each one is very important. Interestingly, this isn't the first individual to come forward and claim that they've worked with the government on time travel. Another woman who wished to be kept anonymous stated that she's been sent on a mission to the future to see where we went wrong, and said that the future does not look bright for humanity. She said there will be more division than ever, and that humans sold themselves to technology. She goes on to say that this is currently happening right now, but within the next 100 years things just get worse. She states that there's a huge division in the world and that people are struggling. There are more homeless people and poverty than ever. People don't leave their houses much, and that the majority of people are owned by the government. Although some have said these are just stories, and that there's no way to back them up, recently some interesting documents have been made public, and some of them have caught people's attention. The United States government is well known for conducting a variety of strange research experiments. Oddly enough, however, there seems to be a recently declassified government experiment that was approved for release back in 2003, surrounding the training of psychic soldiers and enhancements to the brain known as the Gateway Process Experience Experiments. The declassified document, titled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process, seems to be a written memo between a US Army researcher at the CIA and sent to a US Army operational commander located out of Fort Meade. The subject of the memo seems to have been the analysis surrounding the legitimacy of the Gateway Process study, as the researcher writes the following in an opening statement: "You asked me to provide an assessment of the Gateway experience in terms of its mechanics and ultimate practicality." End quote. Most likely the US government was unaware of what the Gateway Process really entailed, and so sent an independent researcher to the experimentation areas to undergo the process, and learn if there was any legitimacy to this study in the first place for continued funding. Within the first paragraph of the document, however, the researcher makes a special note to include that the Gateway Process was a technique designed by Isaac Bentov, stating the following: based on conversations with a physician who took the gateway training with me, I had recourse to the biomedical models developed by Isaac Bentov to obtain information concerning the physical aspects of the process. End quote. For those that are not aware, Isaac Bentov was a leading Israeli researcher, known for his incredible contributions in the creations of patents for the steerable heart catheter, ECG electrodes, pacemaker leads, and a number of other patents that would help to form the Boston Scientific Medical Tech Corporation. However, what many are not aware of surrounding the Israeli inventor was his devout belief and following into the mystical side of consciousness, which would lead to his primary contributions to the gateway process experiment. The document then goes into the breakdown of what the gateway process holds, with the first explanation from the researcher being in regards to the human body's natural frequency of the brain, and the frequency following response. According to this study, a form of enlightenment can be triggered in a person's mind when both hemispheres of the brain begin operating at the same frequency, allowing them to communicate without any form of distraction, and leading to a heightened state of focus. In the document, the researcher details the following statement: to achieve synchronization of brain hemispheres, the hemisync technique takes advantage of a phenomenon known as the frequency following response, or the FFR, which means that if a subject hears a sound produced at a frequency which emulates one of those associated with the operation of the human brain, the brain will try to mimic the same frequency pattern by adjusting its brainwave output. Therefore, if the subject is in a fully awake state but hears sound frequencies, which approximates brainwave output at a theta level, the subject's brain will endeavour to alter brainwave pattern from the normal beta to the theta level. End quote. The document then ends with the researchers stating that the gateway process experience should be provided to all members of the organisation for heightened mental ability. Although the document fails to elaborate on the finding, the memo then states that the training could open up members of the gateway process to be attacked by intelligent energy beings if the boundaries of time and space are continually surpassed, stating in quotes, subjects must be intellectually prepared to react to possible encounters with intelligent non-corporeal energy forms when time-space boundaries are exceeded. End quote. With additional statements that perhaps practical use of the gateway process experience should be used to gather information from such entities and the universal consciousness. So what do you make of time travel, and of the strange experiment known as the gateway experience? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.